Hello, Tapioca Hearts here, signing in. Today I am going to be continuing. We know the devil, not we know the devil. Oh dear. Today, welcome back to Heaven Will Be Mine. Um, I last time we went on a wonderful mission, playing some kind of bait and switch with Pluto, from Cradle's Graces. We had a lovely conversation with her, just kind of reminiscing about our past shared trauma and kind of like where our different paths have led us, with Saturn kind of being neglected and abandoned by the people who should have been uplifting her and encouraging her abilities, because at least based on her confidence in herself and her actions thus far in the story, she's clearly very capable, I think. Versus Pluto kind of being the gifted kid. She's... Ooh, sorry. Had to... Sorry. Pluto being the gifted kid, and kind of being nurtured and favored in the academy. Getting the love of the people running it, the people in charge. And they ended up on these two different factions, and it seems to me as though they very much drifted apart. But Saturn's getting a crush on Pluto, so there's that. Beyond that, there's a lot going on with just Mercury as well. We learned that he's a trans man, good for him, through the email system. And we also learned that he's a bit of a troublemaker himself, not just Saturn. And I think him and Saturn very much have a more playfully butting heads dynamic going on than I initially thought. I think they're both kind of kicking each other and screwing with each other, but I think they really do care about each other. And they seem to both be victims of the system that they're in. Both in a space system sense and in a governmental school system sense. Those are two different things, but it's fine. Regardless, I'm now gonna jump into the next mission and hang out with Luna-Terra and see what they're all about. Joyride, Killjoy. Launch. I feel like this music is still too loud. Let me fix that. Let me get it down to that level. Is that fine? Sure. Or maybe even lower, honestly. That's one problem I've had with these developers, is that their music is very loud. It makes it difficult to record. Regardless, please tell me how long you're going to be engaged in this, may I stress again, incredibly dangerous, giant waste of time. Until they start sending someone interesting after me, Mercury. The whole fleet would be after you if you hadn't damaged the entire launch hangar when you stole that. Could they even take me out while I'm flying this thing? With its gravity pulses? Probably not, unless they have something similar going on, or a different way to cause damage. You could just crunch them. No, but it wouldn't stop him from trying. And let me stress, this info packet is a gift purely to prevent your ship self from falling into enemy hands, and not an indication of any sort of forgiveness. Let me worry about Iapetus, Mercury. He's gonna be a lot less grumpy when I clear the way for us and celestial mechanics to return to the native sphere. I've got it all figured out. You absolutely don't, but okay. Did you read the info packet? Ace Memorial Foundation pilot Luna-Terra in hot pursuit with escorts. Planned an attack on the lab, arrived after you escaped. Do not engage under any circumstances. Boring. Okay, so either she knows who Luna-Terra is and doesn't like her, or she doesn't know who Luna-Terra is and Sorry. She either knows who Luna-Terra is and doesn't like her, or she doesn't know who she is and is, like, bothered by the fact they're not sending someone, like, more well-known after her. But this part was good. I don't expect you to control your impulses, but even given that you're just like that, she is the last person you should be trying to fight on purpose. Oh boy. Sounds like I should definitely fight her on purpose, right? I hate you. Oh, come on. The carrier is never going to make it out of the system if I don't. You don't know how to pilot your ship, and she's a veteran since the Cold War. You're going to get yourself captured and humiliated and the ship trashed. I was gonna say that she's probably into that, but here we are. So you're saying there's no downside? Why are you doing this to me? Yeah, oh my goodness. Saturn's not only... Okay. Saturn's a brat. I'm just gonna say it. Saturn's a brat. And she's 6'1", huh? Your attention to detail is so useful sometimes. You're using me to cruise? Your taste is so awful. I hate you, Saturn. Oops, looks like one of her escorts is in range. Sorry, gotta go. Surprise is all I've got, you know? Okay, how to voice you. I like the scar. I like the hair. I like the everything. I wish Europa would stop sending me boys who can't control themselves. Having fun dismantling my escorts. With the string of Pearl's fingers, Saturn... Okay. I think these ship selves are way bigger than I initially thought. I think they're way larger. Because... that seems to be huge. It looks like she's pulling apart an entire, like, gate. So, maybe these ship selves don't wrap around the body and instead they're just, like, massive Voltron-esque, like, mechs. Like a Gundam. With the string of Pearl's fingers, Saturn carefully peels the mechanical musculature out of the poor ship's arm she's holding. A souvenir of the last of Luna-Terra's escorts that she sent crying too easily back to their base. Ooh, look at this. Hello. Oh, she's like literally tearing out like the other ship selves, like veins and stuff. That's like a creepy idea. Directly tearing at someone's like lifeblood. Also, this game has a lot more color than We Know the Devil did. And also, like, it seems to be, like, fully computer drawn and, like, computer generated, not generated, but, like, computer made, like, graphics and stuff compared to that game. Which, like, in some ways is a detriment because I actually really loved the real world photography that We Know the Devil used for its backgrounds. But also, I like the like fully digital feel of this game, and it helps like capture the atmosphere as well, with it being more like space age. It's still sparkling and oozing, and Saturn wishes her ship had a mouth so she could suck it out like crab meat. Uh-huh. You go, girl. Maybe it does have a mouth. The machine has many mysteries the manual doesn't explain, and Saturn is still learning them. Though I suppose Europa's learned her lesson about sending me girls who can't control themselves. Oh, really? Hey, that's really interesting. Mind telling me more? Wink, wink. Oh, she's a hacker too. How amusing. There's nothing too interesting on this calm frequency. Aw, you flatter me. But hey, what did that mean exactly? The part about girls who can't control themselves? I really want to hear more. It means back up that talk first. Or can you land a hit off the comms? Luna-Terra's gravitational field focuses to a single point. Luna-Terra isn't budging, she's been through much worse, and so is her ship, followed always by a thin trail from a bleeding wound she never could completely repair. The mare Chrysium is over 2 decades old. Is she in her 40s? Excuse me? It's over 2 decades old, but Saturn can't even land a hit. It's regal and stiff, dressed in cold metallics, weathered and refurbished. The archetypal prototype for all other ship selves, still going after all these years. Still furiously untouchable. The string of pearls hasn't gone down no matter how much she's been rammed with that spear, but she hasn't even nicked Luna-Terra's ship once. Not bad at all for a joyride. You can't get one hit in. Good thing you don't win by looking cool. No mercy for newbies? No. Luna-Terra puts a stake of solid light through the string of pearl's leg, pins it to its own gauze wrapper. It doesn't hurt at all. The ship's metals begin molding and reforming around the wound immediately. Oh, this is what I read in the comms last time between Mercury and Saturn. How the string of pearls kind of works in like a gelatinous way. A ridiculous, unfair advantage. Saturn has no right to complain, but she still wants to. I love how Saturn flirts like in the middle of combat. That's like, first of all, gay as hell and relatable. Second of all, it makes for fun dialogue that I get to voice and react to. But she's trying to be cool. Everyone wants to, when in the quiet gleam of that always bleeding ship. That's a pretty amazing ship. Think it will last? Either you're fighting just for fun because you're that reckless, or you're caught in your own containment wrapper and can't escape orbit yet. And you'd beat me for sure if I played around. I'm not done yet. That's not true. It's actually very difficult to move with a solid light bullet in your leg, but she's not going to let that stop her. Saturn is suddenly closer than she logically could be. Claws bubbling, but Luna-Terra effortlessly slips away and kicks Saturn's ship directly in the chest. Yeah, you're done. The containment wrapper is still stuck to you, so your movement's off. Doesn't seem to have stopped you that much, though. Right? It was so rude of them to try to stop me. It seems cruel to take it away when you're having so much fun with it. I really appreciate that the dialogue, like, and the fights themselves so far seem to, like, inform themselves of, like, a dance, almost. It's a dance. It's an opportunity to get to know each other. And yet it is still combat. It is a war of ideals, of feelings, and also a way to understand one another's feelings. It's similar, like, it's a similar storytelling approach to other queer works I've experienced, like Revue Starlight or Symphogear, where fighting with someone helps you to understand them and to grow closer to them. I really like it. And also to get laid. Same as you, right? Do I know you? Everyone knows Memorial Foundation's perfect ace. Do I know you? So I do, don't I? Let me out of this thing and I'll tell you. Why should I? Because you can't help yourself. Besides, don't you want a real fight? Can you promise it'll go different? I can promise it'll be more fun. You're asking for me to totally abandon my duty to bring you back and do that instead. What, you won't? The legendary pilot who defected from Memorial Foundation then double-crossed the rebels she abandoned them for can't be opposed to a little fooling around with the enemy. Okay, so Saturn and Luna-Terra used to be in the same organization, the Memorial Foundation. but Luna-Terra left them for a rebel group and then left the rebel group. So she's very experienced. That much is for sure. But yeah, continuing my train of thought about the way that conversations are held in this game, I really appreciate that they're not only fighting to get the advantage in terms of the larger scale conflict, they're fighting to get the advantage just personally. They want to domineer over the other person. They want to win personally. It's an intimate battle, an intimate struggle for control in the dynamic, which speaks to what this game is inevitably building towards, which is probably going to be several romance routes between the three main characters. So we'll see where this one leads right now. I guess you do know me. Want to trust each other? Or is it more fun if we don't? Oh. It's more fun if they do and Saturn gets embarrassed. How was that? Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? It's just weird. It's weirder that it doesn't hurt. Yeah, it's maybe she wants to be more connected with her ship self and the intimate feelings of piloting it. The Neuralink or whatever it's called. It's easier for Luna-Terra to cut through the malleable flesh of the string of pearls directly than untangle her from the wrapper. The flesh reforms quickly, so she has to work patiently. String of pearls might be impossible to destroy. Even if Saturn can't land a hit, Luna-Terra feels like somehow she's the one who got lucky. If just this hurt, you'd never be able to fight. Your brain is giving you more nuanced information. You're very sensitive. Lucky. You'll get used to it. If you're serious about next time, think of yourself as something a little bigger. I like that. Being big. I'm glad I trusted you. Stop shaking them, or ask me to go easier. Maybe I'm just seeing metaphors and innuendos in too many things. I'm sorry for that. But it very much reads as the more experienced person giving her junior guidance through just through a procedure, through a difficult thing to accomplish, something that is intimate and it doesn't even have to be something getting laid. It can just be something being vulnerable, and it's the older person guiding the younger person, which is very sweet and a little bit spicy, and I like it. They're helping each other by trusting each other in this moment, even if ultimately they have to leave one another again at the end of this. Just a little easier, please. Of course. You remember me yet? I thought you'd remember the name of at least some of the girls you've been made out with in supply closets. But these two do have that much of a history. A history. They've been together already. God, they're tapped into each other psychologically when they do this. It's very much a similar situation to what Saturn and Pluto were experiencing. They know everything about each other in this moment. Or maybe not everything, but a deep amount of perspective on each other. Your face. Just kidding. Sorry, but it was worth it. Oh, she was lying about making out in supply closets. Fantastic, you little shit. I bet that's gonna happen though by the end of this. For sure. You weren't kidding about still being dangerous. Every pilot knows you by both of your reputations. Both as a member of the whatever foundation that I keep forgetting the name of, even though I work for it, and as a rebel. You're definitely Saturn because no one hated me as much as you. And now I'm curious why you don't anymore. If I tell you, you'll owe me extra. To save it for the next time you catch me. Well, I'll just have to catch you again quick. All free. Now get out before someone catches us. Okay. I wonder why Saturn ever hated her. If she trusted her in that moment. Maybe... I can't get a grasp on where this story's gonna go plot-wise. Maybe she just hated her because she was jealous, like a similar situation to Pluto. But now that they had that moment together, maybe her feelings have softened a bit. Either way, dialogue. Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. Someone tell Elon Musk that, please. No, there will never be a planet Mars. That's a name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter Ares. Well, Ares and Mars, if you look at Greek and Roman mythology, they're essentially the same god. But they seem to be different planets in this version of history. But the stringy and edible weeds that grow when nothing else does, Cradle's Graces is dug in and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked, the terraforming engines are broken, the gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist. It is an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship selves can't keep you alive alone forever. I feel like they should be able to. Those things are absurdly technologically advanced. But either way, and even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NSES fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left and why we can't get them out. What? Why don't I go home too and leave all those idiots to just fucking die on a rock? Who do you think we're doing this for? External communication sent on August 31st, 1978 by Memorial Foundation troops. Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. The doomed Yuri. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirements for human life. And life is just the start anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? I would argue life is more essential for the human experience than gravity, you know? Well, I guess the human experience can't exist without gravity, but it also can't exist without life. Both are equally necessary. Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. Oh, God, that's the truth. How much of human history is determined by what people think is real, not by what actually is real. History is told by... I almost said a really stupid quote. History is told by the people telling it, but what I mean is that whoever is telling history will inherently design it in such a way that is individual to that person. History depends on who's telling it, in my opinion. And if enough people believe something and enough people tell history a certain way, then it becomes fact, regardless of how false it is. It is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions about humans get made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true, even about what's human and what's not. But, well, there we go, right there. And this is very much commentary on, like, the human, like, experience and, like, how queer people are treated, I can tell. And also just marginalized people in general. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their fleet planted on the Earth is in fact not a human. That's a pretty usual thing for humans to do. No differences of any kind need to exist. We'll just be aliens, and then they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. Ooh, boy. But if we just hold the line here for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, he'll open up the gravity well. And then we get to decide. Fuck yeah. Internal communication sent on January 25th, 1981 by Cradle's Grace's Irregulars. Oh my goodness, so much. It's morning on Ares, but what's time and space? If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out the canyons of Mars, where Cradle's Graces and Memorial Foundation are bickering. Hold the city ruins against invading troops and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me, I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. If no one controls it before the deadline is up, Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. I'm starting to be anti-Earth in this setting as well, for sure. We'll finally have something alien in space. Private communication sent on January 26th, 1981 by a celestial mechanics researcher. Day 3. I wonder how many days this game has exactly before I reach an ending of sort. There has to be like multiple endings, right? Anyways. Error. Mission parameters not detected. Mission results, ? Needed for gravitational slingshot permissions. Error. Shortlist not found. Mission parameters found. All results perfect and amazing. Wow, thank you, Saturn. Flight path generating. Ares Lagrange Colony Pass. Classified operation. Earth's moon. New standing orders coming in. Ares. Large celestial mechanics fleet refueling on Ares Oxygen Ocean. Stay out of trouble and do not engage Memorial Foundation troops patrolling in immediate vicinity. Accept orders. Nope. I don't even get an option. I just get to be a little shit. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to Ares. And here we are. Oh, I am so much more aligned to Memorial Foundation now over celestial mechanics. Yippee! Comms. Oh boy. Okay. Celestial Mechanics Fleet Main Junk Data. Oh my god, sorry for getting back to you so late, but I was in the middle of a meeting. My phone buzzed so much the director asked me if I needed to take a call. I swear you do this on purpose. I don't think you really need feedback on your nudes that quickly. Even though, yes, the real... What is this dynamic? I love it. Mercury and Saturn are besties. I'm calling it for sure. They're besties and like potentially friends with benefits and potentially like just like annoyed coworkers who are like lighthearted jerks to each other. And I can't stop thinking about them or getting any of my work done, and my presentation suffered greatly from my lack of focus. I expect you were prepared for a little payback, and after I sent you my schedule so that this wouldn't happen again even. Hey, you wouldn't have asked me for my meeting time so that you could send those to me at the worst possible moment, would you? That's exactly the kind of thing Saturn would do. I fully expected that she did exactly that. I already know the answer to that, so why don't you tell me this? Why can I never get enough of you? Oh, they're cute together. Ooh, can Mercury be a romance option? I think that'd be sweet. Um, um, be careful today. I'm never careful any day, so I'm serious. Iapetus is in the field today. I don't know where he's fighting, but you should be careful. Jeez, you worry too much. I'll be okay, baby. Mwah. Obviously, because you give me so much to worry about. I mean, you really are worried. Are you really worried? Ship self is actually not that scary. Not as scary as mine. Yeah, String of Pearls seems to be very powerful. If nothing else, it's indestructible, which is like the best offense is a good defense. As if that was a thing I was worried about. What then? Oh, you God, I'm not even thinking about letting our mutual ex touch me. I won't even. Is Iapetus their ex? No. No. What is. Okay. Okay. I like that the game doesn't just outright tell me what the dynamics are at play. That makes things much more interesting and much more flirtatious. Also, this line is kind of recontextualized now. A boy in space on purpose. He's both in space on purpose and a boy on purpose, which is great. I won't even fight him. I'll curve him the second his tide so much as tremble against my blading. Why would you worry? I don't even slightly hate him less than you do. There's no possible way you hate him more than I do, but that's not the issue. I wonder if these two and Iapetus were in a poly relationship at some point. It doesn't really matter. It's just fun to think about. That's never the issue with him. Hating him hasn't made him any easier to deal with. We were kids, though. We're older and wiser now. LMIO. Oh, she forgot an apostrophe. Ha ha ha. At least you are, Mercury. Hardly. Or he wouldn't be telling you. You remember how he'd just casually linger his fingers a second too long on your shoulder? In front of everyone? Ugh, ugh, ugh. It was so gross. It was so gross. Oh, these two. Bad breakup. Bad breakup. Ugh. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Trauma and the validation. Enjoying the validation, but still not really. Like, I'm sorry for getting like so serious in this let's play so far, but like I appreciate the like serious subject matter, I guess. But you know, like getting the validation from something that in retrospect is like not healthy is very real and a very serious thing, especially like as far as I'm aware in the like queer dating sphere, and it's rough, you know. And I love the attention every time. It made me so smug. I loved it. It was gross. I hate him. Do you love yourself enough to not fall for it again? I definitely hate him enough to not fall for it. That's not the important thing here, girl. You gotta love yourself. I mean, whatever keeps you out of unhealthy relationships. Do you? No, obviously. Still in celestial mechanics, so how do you think I feel? Yeah, he's gotta keep his job, even though it's not good for him. You're soaring, you've got a stupid idiot who loves you, and you get to do research and never have to deal with him again. And with this ship self, we'll have the future. Heaven will be ours, and no matter what, I'll make sure he won't. Panel closed. I'm regretting that in the first day I didn't finish the comms. I thought they were just gonna go on like forever, so I stopped before I finished them, which I is unfortunate. I wish I had finished. Regardless, I have two. Regardless, I have two new missions to go on. Deep dive. The oxygen ocean serves as both fuel yard and terraforming engine for planet Ares, and it's the perfect hiding place for the migrating celestial mechanics fleet. But deep down, something is reaching up for them. As well as 400mm KISS. Memorial Foundation deploys a certain sniper to stop escape and resupply routes to the resting celestial mechanics fleet. All Saturn needs to do is stay out of trouble, but what's the chance of that? Well, this sounds sensual, which I'm all for. But I might do deep dive first. But either way, I'll decide which one to do first. Next time in Heaven Will Be Mine. Thanks for watching. See you later.